Hi, my name is Taylor Stevens. I'm the Copyright Advisor at Mount Royal University. I provide training, education, and operational leadership on all copyright matters here at the university.
As a new or returning instructor here at Mount Royal University, you may have some questions about how Canadian copyright law intersects with your work as an educator. You may be curious about what content you can legally and ethically share in the classroom, or are looking for copyright-friendly resources that you can use to build out a lesson or presentation.
If you're nervous when learning about copyright, know that you're not alone. Copyright often brings negative feelings of stress or worry or fear, and this is actually so common that it has a term. It's called copyright anxiety.
Copyright anxiety is the negative feelings we associate with copyright. Unfortunately, these stressors can sometimes lead to fear and inaction, more commonly known as copyright chill. Copyright chill is when anxiety around copyright increases so much that you abandon projects and other creative endeavors because you're worried about using third-party materials. My job here at MRU is to alleviate that anxiety by providing education, lessons, tools, and resources to help you navigate copyright concerns and avoid copyright chill. By watching this video, you're taking the first step towards copyright confidence.
In this video, we'll cover some of the key copyright basics that you need to know as an MRU instructor. If some of your questions aren't answered in this video, you can always reach out to me at mrucopyright@mtroyal.ca. I'm available via email, Google Meet, or in person.
You can also find frequently asked questions, information on copyright law, and copyright-friendly resources by heading to the Copyright LibGuide on the Mount Royal University Library website. The following information is not legal advice, but intended to promote a better understanding of the rights and responsibilities of students and educators.
And with that, let's dive in.
Copyright is a type of intellectual property that gives its owner the exclusive right to copy, distribute, adapt, display, and perform a creative work. These works are protected by copyright the moment they are fixed, like if you write a chapter of a book by hand or save it to your computer. Adding the text copyright or the well-known copyright symbol to a work is not necessary for copyright protection to be in place, although it is a helpful tool to communicate your copyright. What's important to remember is that copyright does not protect ideas or facts. It protects the tangible expression of an idea. For example, if you had the idea to write a book about a young girl raised by wolves, you would not have copyright until the work is fixed on paper or saved in a digital form.
Copyright doesn't last forever. One of the purposes of copyright law is for the creators of works to be reasonably rewarded for their creative efforts.
In Canada, copyright protection has historically lasted for life plus 50 years of the author. However, by the end of 2022, the copyright term will change for the first time in Canada, from life plus 50 years to life plus 70 years. Once this copyright term ends, the work goes into the public domain. Works that are currently in the public domain under life plus 50 will remain in the public domain despite this change. Be sure to look out for news updates from the Copyright Office where more information will be provided, such as the exact date this change will take effect.
Works that are no longer protected by copyright, like the works of F. Scott Fitzgerald, are in the public domain. And this means that these works can be used for any purpose and by anyone, and this would include non-commercial and commercial purposes.
Canada's Copyright Act creates a balance between copyright owners and users. This serves public interest by promoting culture, creativity, and supporting education. The Copyright Act provides a number of user rights and exceptions. One of the most familiar user rights is fair dealing. Fair dealing allows for the copying of works without permission or the payment of royalties for the purposes of education, research, private study, satire, parody, news reporting, review, and criticism. At MRU, we follow the Institutional Fair Dealing Guidelines, which can be found on the library's Copyright LibGuide. These guidelines allow you to copy a short excerpt from a copyright-protected work to communicate to students enrolled in your course.
If you plan on using more than what's outlined in the Fair Dealing Guidelines, connect with me and I can help you determine if your use is fair.
There are a number of educational exceptions within the Copyright Act, such as the use of publicly available materials, also known as the Internet right. Number 1. There is no technological protection measure, or a TPM, on the work, such as a digital lock or password. Number 2. There is no clearly visible notice prohibiting educational use. Number 3. The work was legally created and uploaded. Number 4. The source is cited.
If a user right doesn't apply to your situation, then don't worry. There are other options like openly licensed content, public domain content, and seeking permission from the copyright owner.
The most common openly licensed content is content licensed under Creative Commons. Creative Commons licensed material allows for more flexible use, as long as the user is following the terms of the license and attributing the original creator. If the work isn't under an open license, a user right doesn't apply, and the work isn't in the public domain yet, you can always seek written permission from the copyright owner for your use. The Copyright Office has a number of permission letter templates available on the Copyright LibGuide. The MRU Library has an extensive amount of resources available for your use. These resources are available under various licenses, and each license has different conditions for use. When searching for a work to use in Library Search, scroll down to the Access Options section. You'll see the providers for the content, and beside each provider, there will be an option to Show License. Clicking on this button opens a drop-down with all of the information about what you can do with this work, such as whether class handouts are allowed, information about course packs, or scholarly sharing. The Copyright Office provides a number of supports to help you successfully navigate the ethical use of copyrighted works. I provide one-on-one virtual or in-person appointments to answer questions. I will also provide custom guest lectures relevant for your class to help educate them on all things copyright. And if you're unsure of whether or not you can use certain materials in D2L or the physical classroom, I can provide an instructional materials review. I also keep the MRU community up to date on any relevant copyright changes. Be on the lookout for upcoming copyright workshops hosted through the MRU Library. I provide a number of public workshops throughout the academic year, exploring topics like copyright for instruction, fair dealing, Creative Commons, copyright for undergraduate research, and more.
I hope this video helped answer some of your questions about copyright. If you have any additional questions, please reach out to me at mrucopyright@mtroyal.ca.